As Wilhelm mentioned, I'll be taking you through people management, the new and normal. I am the co-founder of Outsourced CFO, director as well. I want to stand still and I want to say it's great to be part of a community of entrepreneurs like yourself. I want to stress out that I understand that each of us as entrepreneurs and business owners are in very difficult, unprecedented positions where our people, our staff, our family are looking to us for guidance and leadership during this time. Hence this discussion, people management, the new normal. So just a little bit of context, Outsourced CFO. So Outsourced CFO is a financial management company of chartered accountants. We basically help our clients with a technical and visual CFO and cloud accounting services. To give you a little bit of idea, during this COVID-19 period, we've been helping a lot of our clients with getting their compliance up to date, be that tax clearances in order to apply for relief funding, helping them with that, navigating the difficult times of understanding their cash flow, where business owners need to make very hard decisions, helping them to make these informed decisions and really looking at their numbers and also looking at leading their people during this time. This is our family. I think you've seen a slide of this before. To give a little bit of context, I'm also the HR director at Outsourced CFO. So this is our family. One of our biggest values is family first. Basically, like Wilhelm has mentioned, we moved fully remotely, even before the official lockdown, and all our staff members here currently service our clients remotely continuously. So today's session, the index, I'll be touching base with the new normal. I'll be focusing on a quick decision making that's needed of you as a business owner during this time. I'll also be touching base on people management, where there's very difficult and hard decisions to make, how to approach your own payroll as a business. Under people management, I'll be focusing also on remote working. If you used to work in an office and now your team is working remotely and you weren't necessarily prepared for it, what some of these policies that needs to be in place. Wilhelm briefly touch base on that. And then I'm also just going to touch base on what's the basic employee needs that's still applicable, even though you're operating this new normal. So you really just remember the basics with people management. And then lastly, in conclusion, I'll be focusing on some of the employer payroll relief options that's available. Firstly, words of encouragement to you as management. If there's ever a time for you as a lead of your business, then it's now. Your staff is also experiencing a similar disruption in their lives, having to work remote, having a lot of questions and uncertainty. So I just want to encourage you as management to stand up as leaders, to guide and lead your family, your team, your business during this difficult times. I want to encourage you to work closely with your trusted advisors during this time, being transparent, asking for advice, and to really navigate this uncertainty, really be proactive with some of these big challenges that you're facing. The new normal, what it might mean for your people, for you, I think a big word for me is adaptability. To be adaptable in your approach, the way how you manage your people, the way how you check quality control. And the last thing on the new normal, what I want to just highlight is you as a business have a set of values that's your DNA and how you prefer to operate. And you've got a very unique culture in how you operate. Now that your business is operating perhaps in a very different way, operating more digitally, remotely, please consider and make sure that your culture still is as rock solid as it can be, and almost aspiring to a digital culture, and keep on thinking within the new normal how you maintain your culture, because that is so important during this time. Quick decision making. I'm going to use an example which a lot of entrepreneurs face at this stage. It might be that you've lost a very big client, or a project that you were hoping to come in might be deferred a little bit later. It really means that you might be cash flow struck in a very difficult position to pay staff during that time. So I'm using the formula out of one of Dale Carnegie's books, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. It's a great formula that you can use. And the first thing is to evaluate the scenario honestly and fearlessly, and to really look at what's this worst case scenario that could happen in your business, and really look at the numbers. The second step is to decide to accept that worst case scenario, even how difficult it might be, even just spiritually accepting it, and thinking, is everyone still alive? Is everyone still healthy? Does someone have a roof? Everyone still have a roof over their head, something to eat? And just to, even though these worst case scenarios might play out, some of these basic human needs are still in place. The third, accepting the worst case scenario as well, is to say, yeah, even though my business might shrink during this time, or have to reduce operations during the time, I will be stronger and I will be better positioned and I will be better pivoting, and just accepting that worst case scenario. The third step is to really, from here on onwards, really be calm. Use your energy to try and improve the worst case scenario. Pick up the phone, have those difficult conversations with those important clients, see how you can pivot your value offering to them, see what you can, how you can have discussions with staff members early on, to be truthful and honest what you can afford and not afford. This is an amazing formula that which we also use as Outsourced CFO for decision making, and we encourage our clients to use during this difficult time. Under people management, I'll be touching base on payroll restructuring, where you have to have some of these hard discussions. Briefly just touching base on remote working policies, and then I'm just going to remind all of you, what does your employee, what does he or she really want? And just understanding their needs, and just to be aware of that during this time. So staff payroll restructuring, let's say you're in a very difficult position like most of entrepreneurs are during this time. Some of you might already have had some of these discussions. Some of you are planning to have these discussions. What I want you to be mindful is to ask for expert labor law advice during this, to really make sure you make informed decisions, that you're labor law compliant during this time, that you truly understand your cash flow position, so you make informed decisions on this, and that you really put out the necessary time to consider these payroll restructurings. One of the ways to approach this is in stages, with stage 4 being more severe. Stage 1 would be, if you're in a position where you need to restructure payroll, is to look at if you have too many staff, redundant staff, really think what's the backbone of your business. What does your business need to survive during this time? It might be a first stage just to offer voluntary retrenchment, where your staff, out of their own accord, take that option and take that retrenchment package. Next stage would possibly be to consider to ask staff to take enforced annual leave. If your business seasonality allows it, it might mean that you have to work at a different time during year, perhaps over December or so. A third stage consideration would be where you actually have more severe discussions with your staff, where salaries are actually reduced. We've seen that some clients have up to reduced salaries of staff, anything from 25 to 50% in salary reductions, some of them a little bit less. Some of them ask their staff only to work three days a week, or reducing that, and by even reducing the amount of time worked, proportionally reducing the salaries, or just asking, should you need to work the same time, and we're still going to reduce the salaries given the needs of the business. So that's just something to really look at closely with the advisors. The fourth stage is obviously more severe, and where you need to retrench a part or all of your staff. Before considering this route, there are some relief options consider before in that stage. In short of all, let's say you do decide on the course of action to take. The action steps with this is just to structure it internally, make sure that your labor law consultant, with the paperwork, guide you through that, through the legalities. Make sure you've got a really transparent and honest presentation to your team. It can be a one-way, a session with the MD, with the team. Set up those meetings with the employees and really just be transparent in what's happening to your business, what's happening to your clientele, where are you, what are you as business management doing to address this, where have you started cutting costs, what remedies do you need to take in order to keep the family together, the team together, or just to create that awareness and alignment and understanding from staff, what the position of the business is. Very, very difficult discussion. I'm thinking of all of you entrepreneurs that needs to make these discussions. Just a quick moving on to remote working. You as a business, you used to work like at your office. Now you're forced to work remotely. You're not potentially geared for it. As you can see on the screen, there's so many considerations, type of leaders, how do you train your staff, your digital culture, the human element, people missing interactions, you have introverts, extroverts, how do you make sure the quality is still the same? So many considerations. So obviously to navigate these complexities, make sure that you've got the relevant policies in place. We've seen calendar use some families, we have young ones, you need to navigate that. Calendar use policy could help with that to make sure that everyone knows when you're available at your desk. It's not, you can't just walk to someone's office and ask them for something, just to restrict other people's time, and even 3-6 etiquette to be on time for meetings, have agendas for meetings, dress code, we've discussed that, etc. For remote working policies for you to manage your people. Then employee needs. This is a very important slide. I'm not going to read through everything. These are just the 12 basic needs that employees have, and it's still relevant during this new normal, this new position that you're finding yourself. The employee needs to know what's expected of him at work. As a business, what's your one-page critical number plan, action plan for your firm? Does everyone know what they need to do to help during this time? And everyone needs to know that that what they need to do. Tools and resources, thinking about data and like access to tools to do their work. The fourth one is also very interesting, recognition. Now, you used to give recognition in meetings with the group or one-on-one. We use a very amazing software called High Five, where we can digitally give people high five for where they live out our values and our culture, and just to really praise our staff. People want to be cared about. People want their development to be encouraged. People want, if staff members have creative opinions and thoughts, during this time, this is where you pull your staff in. It's a really use them and what they bring to the table as well. Other consideration: people are lonely during this time. So, do you create enough opportunities for people to mingle, to meet with others? People are very vulnerable. And these are just some of the concerns, the basic needs that employees have during this time, just to consider when navigating during this time with your own business. Then moving on to employer payroll relief options. I'll be starting with the pay-as-you-earn tax one. I think a lot of you would be aware of this. Our President Cyril Ramaphosa on Tuesday's address to the nation mentioned that the pay-as-you-earn relief, the layman relief increased from 20% to 35%. So if you think about it, your pay-as-you-earn that needs to be submitted by the 7th of the next month, the MP201, that only 65% of that is due now. But very important, you need to be tax compliant to do that. So this benefit won't be for all. And so if your tax compliance is not in place, talk to your tax practitioner, make sure that there's no outstanding financials that's outstanding or income tax returns that's going to prohibit you from enjoying this patient tax relief, because it can really make a big cash flow difference in your business. And then the idea is to enjoy this, not enjoy, but just to this is how the government is helping businesses to experience to have that over the next 4 months, from April to July, with the idea that, you know, this patient, whatever is delayed, needs to be paid back from September to February over a 6-month period. That's from a SARS, South African Revenue Services perspective, from a tax position. Then to the right-hand side, we have TERS. Now, TERS is a Department of Employment and Labor Initiative. It's called the Temporary Employee Relief Scheme. It's basically out there to prohibit or to help businesses who are considering to retrench staff, to give this assistance to them by saying, hang on, before you do that, there is this a relief that you can apply for. You can email COVID-19 TERS at labor.gov.za. You'll get a detailed list of what they require. Is automated, you know, and the real benefits is, you know, your staff members can experience a relief of anything from 3,500 Rand per employee to a maximum of 38% of 17,000 Rand, give or take. So that's minimum 3,500 to give or take 6,700 maximum relief. So this is something that the UIF, unemployment, this is what the UIF can actually pay out to you as a business during the time, especially if you have lower earning wage earners in your business. Definitely for something to look out for. I know a lot of you are busy with your April payroll before the end of the month, as well as considering for the next one as well. Moving on to the next corporate tax consideration is just for qualifying taxpayers. Again, our standing is that you need to have tax clearance for this. It's where your provisional tax, from 1 April to 30 September, that if you've got a February year end and that's a tax that's due end of August, only 50% of the estimated total tax, is due, with the idea that 65% is due by the end of your year. If you've got a February year end, that will be end of Feb 2021, and then obviously the top up the provisional tax is concerning to pay the remainder. The last one before I conclude is just the ETI, tax subsidy for employee tax incentive. In short, the government offers this subsidy for you, a tax subsidy. If you have staff earning below 6,500 Rand per month, your tax practitioner, the person doing your payroll, will be able to upload this tax subsidy on your payroll system. They would be able to complete it when completing the EMP 201. Typically, you would have only received refunds every 6 months, but SARS, they have fast forwarded, so you can experience this refund twice per year. Important, talk to your tax practitioner, person doing your payroll, so they understand how to apply for this, and so that you can make use of these benefits available.
Hey, Lau here, one of the founders of Outsourced CFO. If you enjoyed this video, make it official. Click subscribe.